Let's talk about a feeling we all know, but maybe don't fully understand: regret. And not just any regret. We're going to dive into the really specific, kind of haunting cost of the ideas, the projects, and the dreams we never even got off the ground.
So let's start with this really powerful idea. People rarely regret the things they tried. Just let that sink in for a second. Even when you mess up, when you fail spectacularly, that experience of actually trying something, it almost never becomes that deep, nagging regret that follows you around. You learn something, you grow, and you move on.
And that's the real kicker, isn't it? What about that business idea you never wrote down? That instrument you never picked up? That tough conversation you never had? Those are the things that can really stick with us. So if we know we won't really regret trying, then what is it that stops us from even starting? Well, it almost always comes down to this one very universal feeling: the fear of trying.
I mean, you've totally been there, right? You get that jolt of excitement for a new project, and then almost immediately, this wave of doubt just washes over you. And boom, just like that, the idea gets shoved in a drawer, left to collect dust in the back of your mind before you even took that first tiny step. But here's the thing: this fear of trying, it's usually based on a huge misunderstanding of what we're actually afraid of. So let's unpack what's really going on here. Let's call it the myth of regret. This is the story we tell ourselves. We think the absolute worst thing that could happen is that we try something and it just blows up at our face, right? We think we'll look foolish, we'll do it badly, and we'll have to live with the shame of that failure. But is that really the thing that keeps you up at night? Years later, the research on this is pretty clear, and the answer is a big, resounding no. The real ghost in the machine, the thing that truly haunts us, is something else entirely. And this brings us right to the heart of it. It's not the memory of a screw-up that causes the most pain. It's that endless, agonizing loop of what-ifs. There's actually a name for this: the Zeigarnik effect. It's this idea that our brains are basically hardwired to remember unfinished business way more vividly than the things we've completed. They're like these open tabs in our mind that we just can't close. And this is where that myth just completely falls apart. See, we think our biggest regret will be doing something badly, but the actual, deep down, lasting regret, it comes from never knowing what could have been. It's the permanent question mark hanging over that path you never took. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. Our most profound regrets aren't born from taking action. They're born from inaction. It's abandoning our own potential that really, truly stings in the long run. So, okay, if failure isn't the real enemy, what is? Well, the real obstacle is something way quieter, something much closer to home. It's hesitation. This is so crucial. The battle isn't lost or won out there in the world, in the arena of action. It's lost or won in that quiet, internal moment right before we decide to commit. That's the real battlefield. Let's be really clear about what our enemy is. Hesitation isn't just pausing to think things through. No, it's that sneaky little voice inside your head, the one that chips away at your confidence and paralyzes you with doubt. It's that whisper of, what if I'm not good enough, that kills way more dreams than failure ever could. All right, so how do we fight back against this hesitation? Let's try to reframe this with a pretty powerful thought experiment. Imagine you got a direct message from the one person who knows you better than anyone. Seriously, just picture it. A little note lands in your hand from your future self, the you who has the amazing gift of hindsight, the you who knows exactly which regrets stuck around and which ones just faded away. So here's the first thing that message would say. Your future self is not looking back wishing you'd been flawless. This pressure we feel to be perfect, that's a now problem. It's not the standard you're going to be judging yourself by years from now. That's it. That is the entire message. Not to succeed beyond your wildest dreams, not to be the best in the world, not even to get it right the first time. Simply to start. To give that idea, that project, that goal, a chance to even exist outside of your own head. And that really brings us to the final thought here. The cost of doing nothing is a lifetime of wondering, what if? But the cost of trying, even if you fall flat on your face, is just a lesson learned. So the only question that really matters is right here. What will you begin?